Now, in the story of King Solomon, God made us understand that there was none that was going to be wiser than him, or there was none that was wiser before him, and there was none that was going to be wiser after him. Now, when you look at the writings of King Solomon, particularly the book of Ecclesiastes, he spoke and he wrote about his discoveries, his findings. After being king, having access to everything that every human being wants access to, he wrote a few things. Now, one of the revelations there is that one of the profound statements he made was that there was nothing new under the sun. What has been is what will be. There is nothing new under the sun. And like I keep saying, if you are a student of your word, you must have come across what he said, and if you submit yourself, if you've come before the Lord or God in humility, some of these sayings you will take them seriously, because that is the truth. He is a man. God said there was none that was wiser before him, and there will be none that will be wiser after him. Now, when you read the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9, or chapter 3, verse 15, you will come across these sayings. And it's true. If you've taken a little time to study something about the world and the planet we live in, there's this thing on this earth and this planet that loves repeating patterns and cycles. There is something here on this planet. It loves repeating patterns, it loves repeating cycles. I'll give you a couple of examples there in the Bible, and all that. You can talk about Abraham. In the days of Abraham, there was a famine. So he went down to Egypt. In the days of Isaac, Abraham's son, the same famine showed itself again. But in the time of Isaac, God came out and said, "Don't go anywhere. This very place, plant in this land. I'm going to make you prosperous. I'm going to bless whatever your crops." The famine appeared again in the time of Jacob, when he was an old man. And in that one, God had to send Jacob's son, Joseph, to go and prepare the grounds in Egypt, because there was a great famine coming again. The same thing has repeated itself for almost 3 generations. There's one truth about this planet, is that what has been is what will be. So if you have come to that place and understood and humbled yourself to accept the word of God for what it is, I'm telling you, you understand what King Solomon is saying. The world we find ourselves, and even I can bring normal examples. I can talk about recessions, great recessions. It has happened so many times. These recessions, it has happened so many times. It keeps showing up, sometimes under a different names, sometimes under a different color, but it's the same thing repeating itself. Patterns and cycles on this planet. I'm coming to a point. I'm just drawing the examples. We can come to pandemics or plagues, as some call it. It's not the first time. There have been several ones of them. Bubonic plagues, a lot of things. It came to SARS, it came to bird flu, and then COVID version 1.0. Even world wars. You've had the First World War, there was a second World War. Patterns and cycles is one important thing about this planet, and some way, somehow, time repeats itself. Now, if you understand this, you know and you understand that a lot of the problems people are going through is nothing new under the sun. Whatever problem you are going through, if you humble yourself and bring yourself and accept the word of God for what it is, and let it be elevated, like how God has exalted it above the things He do and above His word, a lot of answers will come to you, because the problem you are going through, this is not the first time. It has happened so many times. And if you go there in the word of God, you find out that a lot of the problems people sit with 5 years, 4 years, 10 years, all along the way, that solution was sitting there in the Bible waiting for you. It's very important, as I keep saying, that if believers will allow themselves and accept some of the things God has put here for us, a lot of answers and solutions will enter into people's lives. Everything is going to be, there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever you are seeing is a repetition of what happened some time back. And that's why it's so dangerous. You know, when anybody writes your history, or you don't find out what happened before, it's very dangerous. See, you finding out what happened before is what prepares you to put a solution and to stop that same thing from repeating itself in the future timeline. If you don't know what happened yesterday, there is no way you are going to solve that thing when it reappears, or when it shows its ugly head again in a different generation. Very important. So history, and that's why the enemy has taken so much interest in distorting and rewriting history to suit his narrative, because so far as the history you are reading is what he wants you to read, is what he wants you to know, you are always going to be on the losing end when certain things that happened before show up again. I was watching a video. Was it a pastor? I think it's in Nigeria. And then he was speaking about this recent Nigerian actor who passed. I'm not going to mention his name. No, he does funny videos and all that. And he was saying his grandfather died as a result of poisoning. His uncle died as a result of poisoning. And he himself was unalived as a result of poisoning. We are seeing the same thing again, patterns and cycles. And even in the life of human beings, if you've studied human beings closely, you realize that when somebody is about to lie, there's a specific pattern they follow. Pattern and cycles, very important. Patterns and cycles. And even when you come to your family, bloodline, whatever, some families are going through difficulty because nobody has taken the time to look at what happened before. You see, people's attention have not been drawn to certain things that happened before. If you focus and try to find out what happened before, what happened in the time of my grandfather, what happened in the time of my great-grandfather, and you start looking at it from there, what happened in the time of my great-grandfather, what happened in the time of my grandfather, if you look at those two generations, you'll be able to tell that, okay, so this happened and that's the problem. And this one also repeated the same thing. That is where you receive understanding, you receive light. That is where you identify certain things to disconnect and cut yourself from, to be able to break generational curses. You cannot break generational curses when you don't even know what happened before. There's nothing new under the sun. A lot of the solution you are looking for, going here, going there, going here, going there, it is sitting there in the Bible, waiting for you, because somebody has gone through it before, and God has used certain steps to help people come out of certain situations. I'm just telling you, solutions are in the Word, waiting for you.